What is up, XRP family? Thank you guys for joining the video for today. So I want you to pay close attention, guys, to this video because it's very, very important. If they Brics backed a common currency by gold, they would overnight dominate the US dollar. Now, why is this relevant? Why do we keep making these connections with the Brics, gold, and all this stuff? Now, listen, guys. The Brics, this is the most interesting event that will take place, that will actually go and trigger our price increase for XRP. As we have mentioned many times, we need kind of a black swan event. This is related to it, right? We can clearly see now that the Brics countries are coming together and they want to overthrow the dollar. They want something else, and they are already doing this. They are very far. They're reaching end of days right now with the US dollar, and this is going to blast the US dollar to hell. So you have to understand this, guys, because this is where you can position yourself, right? This is where XRP will gain momentum. This is where it can break all-time high and increase much more because liquidity is needed at this point. Okay, so let's take a look at this video first.
This week, Egypt joined the Brics Development Bank, the gateway drug to the Brics grouping seeking to replace the United States as economic and financial linchpin of the world. It's another brick in the wall. Beyond the founding members, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, everybody gets a letter, about 24 countries are either formally joining or expressing interest, including Argentina, Nigeria, and Mexico. Now, the Development Bank doesn't mean these countries are going to be colonies of China. It's mainly access to cheap loans, especially from China. So in a sense, countries are being paid to join. But once they're in, the goal of Brics is to unite their political and economic muscle to diversify from dependence on the dollar and on the increasingly unreliable and bullying United States. So it's not quite as formal as the EU, but the goal is similar: a strong voice independent of the US. This matters because the Brics combined are already nearly half the world's population, about 3.2 billion. Sorry, that was my cat. About 3.2 billion on the way to 4 billion with those new countries kicking the tires. Their combined GDP is 27 trillion, even in nominal terms, so that's higher than the US. And in PPP terms, that control for local prices and manipulated currencies, their economies are twice the size of the US already, and they're growing faster, so they're on their way to 3 times. So Brics is definitely a challenge to US dominance, more than the EU will ever be. The question is, will Brics also be a challenge to the US dollar? Because one strategic goal of Brics is to build a currency to rival the dollar. In the near term, countries in the Brics are more likely just to use their own currencies to replace the dollar, for inter-Brics trade at least. Still, remember that's nearly half the world. And if they could develop a euro-like common currency, especially if China is willing to take one for the team and effectively subsidize usage of the new currency, that's what they do with the yuan, then they could be an actual contender. I think most people sort of knee-jerk dismiss poor country currencies as if they're just bad at money, but quality of a currency has nothing to do with per capita income. It's based on the prudence of monetary policy. So is the currency a good store of wealth, or is it inflationary? And whether the currency is used to bully other countries on foreign policy or even domestic policy like the US does. So if Brics were to bring in a stable currency and a non-interventionist policy, it would be a contender even for non-Brics trade that makes up the other half of world trade.
I hope you really understand what this means, guys, because this is where XRP becomes so crucial, guys, as an intermediary, as something that is very neutral on the market, has liquidity, has a lot of a supply. So the thing is here, guys, this is the ultimate asset that is going to be needed in this new world that is about to start, right? Let's finish it.
The real game changer for Brics and the dollar, though, would be something both China and Russia have flirted with: a gold-backed currency. Russia implemented an odd kind of gold backing early in the Ukraine war, and both China and Russia have been buying gold at a furious rate for 20 years. So that's fueling speculation that they could be planning to use it to back a currency. If they do roll out a gold-backed currency, that would be one actually redeemable in gold, like you can mail your dollar and they mail you back some gold, Brics would overnight move towards dominance over the dollar. It would become the safest store of wealth among currencies, and if you paired it with a non-interventionist foreign policy, it would be a clear winner over the dollar. In another video, I talked about consequences of a dollar collapse if this does happen, so consequences for the US economy, and a gold-backed competitor would be the fastest way to do it. Now, this is probably still years off. They're still developing systems to replace the dollar's payment rails called SWIFT, even for internal Brics trade. Still, the writing's on the wall. As long as the US runs trillion-dollar deficits while weaponizing the dollar, there will be interest in finding or even building a replacement. And given China's deep interest and...
So what is the catch here, guys, is that America has to do something. They have to come up with a plan. And we know that XRP is based in the US for now. So the plan may be XRP. This can save the US from collapsing or maybe using something that is actually backed by gold, for example, XRP, that can actually sustain the economy and the collapse that is about to happen. Communications between JPMorgan and SEC led to Ripple lawsuit because JPMorgan has special interest in Ethereum. So they call this the ETH gate, right? Now, just a small comment on this, guys. Of course, this is a possibility and it's most likely that this is the case. But if we really look at what is really happening, we can see, for example, that Rosie Rios is someone who is in treasury, in the US treasury, and she also works with Ripple. So if we really look at what the US is doing, it would really be weird if JP Morgan is trying to replace Ripple because they know that they can't, right? Ripple is way too big already to replace. And JP Morgan is the biggest bank there, guys. It has all the liquidity, right? So it would be very, very weird if they didn't know what is really going on with Ripple. And if they wouldn't actually help to make XRP a good coin. But the thing is here now, maybe they were building their own coin, which they have GPM coin, right? They were trying to build something like Ripple. They failed, and now they see that they have to let Ripple do its thing. So there are many scenarios. We cannot know for sure, right? Because everyone just thinks that this is the easy kind of way. Everyone can see this, that JP Morgan maybe had a special interest in Ethereum and they wanted them to succeed. That is why the Ripple lawsuit existed. But maybe there is something bigger behind the scenes, guys, because the Ripple lawsuit is not that small. And maybe they already knew that it was impossible to win. $50 million under 4 seconds for 30 cents. Now, a lot of people think that this is possible with Bitcoin because of the Lightning Network or anything else. But you have to understand, guys, this is settlement. They moved $50 million in 3 seconds. It cost 30 cents and it's settled. It didn't just do the transaction, which a lot of people make a mistake in, right? That is why this is the future, guys. Here we can see Full Pay, which will go live in July. This is connected to the FedNow payment system because Volanti Technologies is the one behind creating the FedNow payment rails. And here we can see Ripple is the new distributed ledger based global real-time settlement mechanism. It offers banks a faster and more cost-effective mechanism to make international payments in any fiat settlement, right? And that's the thing, guys. This is going live in July. Very, very fast. We're already there. And it's going to be very crazy, guys, especially with everything that is happening right now. Now, I was talking about Rosie Rios. Let's take a quick look at some comments she made in the past. Let's take a look.
As you know, crypto has been in the news time and time again. Actually, what legitimate financial institutions use, specifically for cross-border. Why did you join the board of Ripple? I joined the board of Ripple because XRP serves a purpose. It's a function that facilitates cross-border payments. It's not some store of value, kind of arbitrary value that is not pegged to anything. This is actually what legitimate financial institutions use, specifically for cross-border payments. So instead of days and dollars, it's seconds and cents. As you know, crypto...
You see, guys? So if we put everything together, we can clearly say that America is literally preparing everything to replace the dollar, right? This is what this woman is in the treasury of the US. She's saying that XRP has a utility. It is being used by institutions. It has a functionality. It's not just a store of value. She means Bitcoin, right? So you have to understand what they're doing here, guys. This is much bigger than just Ethereum, battling Ethereum and all that stuff. They know the potential of XRP. That is why they are preparing this, guys. And it doesn't take long anymore. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.